Good grief, close, but still no cigar. Need more bullets. Well, hi guys, and welcome back to Tactical Review. As promised, when I put the red dot on my AK, I have taken advantage of an unseasonably warm day to get out here to the range to see about zeroing that North Tac Ronin P10 red dot on the AK. And while I'm out here, we are also going to be zeroing my new EOTech on the 300 Blackout gun. So, we're going to do things a little bit more scientifically than normal. I say a little because you do see my redneck stand back here. I forgot to grab the tripod adapter, but we're going to be using the Caldwell ballistic precision chronograph, and we're going to actually see what kind of velocity we're getting out of these 125 grain Fiocchi SSTs, so that we can more accurately or more appropriately choose our zeroing distance. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we go, but if you'll recall, when I did my level 3 body armor testing, I used some maths and estimated what my velocity out of this 7.5 inch barrel should be, but I'd really like to nail that down so that I get a more appropriate zero distance. And yeah, we'll also actually go ahead and get the speed off of the AK and make sure we're getting that like 2,300-ish feet per second that the 123 grain Wolf is supposed to be giving us. So let's get down to this, and we'll talk about everything a little bit more as we go, but let's start slinging some lead. All right, now obviously it's really important for getting appropriate information out of the ballistics calculator to use the ammunition that we're most concerned with. My range ammo is currently 147 grain LAX full metal jacket. Very excited. I saw the announcement from Barnaul the other day that pretty soon we're going to have some 147 grain steel case 300 Blackout. But my defensive loads are these 125 grain Fiocchi SSTs. The box says that we should be getting 2,200 feet per second out of those, but that's also out of a 16-inch barrel. So we'll be sending a few of these through the chrono, and we'll take an average of 3. Hopefully I can get appropriate readings, and then we'll plug that information into the ballistics calculator and make a determination for zeroing distance from there. Right, so that gives us an average speed from those 3 rounds of 1929, or 1,929 feet per second. So as you can see, we've given up about 300, not quite 300 feet per second over a 16-inch barrel. Once again, people talk about how great the 300 Blackout is at maintaining velocity even with shorter barrels, and this pretty well proves it out. It also explains how it so easily defeated that level 3A armor. Again, not that we didn't anticipate that it would go through, but rather how effectively it did. And level 3A armor is only rated to about 1,400 feet per second. So this is cooking over that. And if you'll give me a moment, I will then plug that in to my ballistics calculator. And I'm using Strelock. I will have, I'm running an Android phone. I will put the Google Play link in the description below if you want to use it. And it's about 50 degrees out here. So I'll tell you what, clear out to 165, a 30-yard zero stays within 2.5 inches of point of aim. And it requires a 4-inch holdover at 200 yards. So, 7.5 inch barrel, firing Fiocchi SST 125 grain, I'm going to be using a 30-yard zero. Now let's get 3 shots off of the AK. Let's see what kind of velocity we're getting off of that, and we will run the same calculations for the AK. While I'm loading this mag, I will say these are 123 grain. From what I can tell from people who have pulled projectiles out of this Wolf Polyformance, it's a semi-boat tail round, ballistic coefficient of about 0.330. So out of a similar length barrel, I would honestly expect similar performance. I think that the Wolf is rated about 150 feet per second faster, which makes sense. There's more cartridge capacity for powder. Similar weight bullet again. That said, I have a 16 and a quarter inch barrel in this PSA GF3. So I would actually expect to see several hundred feet per second faster in this particular instance. So let's see what we get. And for reference, with this Ronin on the gas tube, how about I just show you? With this Ronin P10 on this gas tube pick rail, I have very similar height over bore with this red dot that I have with the EOTech. Fun fact. All right, that gives us an average speed of 2385. All right, so plan is 30 yard zero on the 300 Blackout due to the lower muzzle velocity, and a 35 yard zero on the AK-47. Once again, I will put tables up. I think it's my plan. I'm going to put tables up so you guys can kind of see what I'm looking at. And once again, I will link you to the ballistic calculator that I'm using, and you can start playing with it and plug in your own numbers. For my situation, that seems it's probably best. And honestly, that works out really well with a 30 yard zero, because once again, I only have between 20 and 25 yards and the longest sight line in my house. All right, so let's get reset and start putting holes in paper. Yes, I'm hamstringing myself a little bit by not giving myself the best shooting platform, but I don't feel like dragging a bench over here. I think the last one was a little high. Well, the group's better than I would have thought it would be, especially from such an unstable shooting position. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Next, time to break out the AK. All right, you may be asking, what are we doing clear up here at the 10 yard line? Well, maybe you're not, because you probably didn't even know we were at the 10 yard line. But as you may have figured out by now, I'm shooting past my GoPro. And we've already talked about when we mounted the Ronin P10, some of what you forego with these lower price optics is a factory rough zero with a laser bore sight. So I don't know how far off left and right I may or may not be. So the closer we are to the target, the less horizontal deviation there may be. Makes sense? I talked about that a little bit when I was laser zeroing my Holosun on my handgun. Anyway, all of this is so that hopefully I don't shoot my GoPro. Fingers crossed. So up at this range, all I'm looking for is getting my left to right zeroed. Wow. I'm flabbergasted. Obviously, the center line runs straight through the X. How about I quit yelling? Runs straight through the X of the torso, through the X of the head. And I was just ever so barely, maybe ever so barely to the left of that. There's not a straight line here. I am amazed. North tack. I gave that warning as a, just something to think about, and I'm absolutely impressed. All right, well, now that I know that I'm not going to put a bullet 3 feet to the left of my intended target and shoot my GoPro, we're going to slide back to the 35-yard line and see about getting our vertical zero. Because my point of aim was here. So obviously I'm 7 or 8 inches low off of that. I would only anticipate being 2 inches low. So I'm probably going to go ahead and run this up several clicks. And I don't remember if this was quarter MOA adjustments or half MOA adjustments. Math! Well, at this point it's so dark I can't even see what's going on till I get up here. So obviously, I mean, you can tell I just can't even see what's going on. Yay. I'm going to come back up here to 10 yards, get it close, and we're going to call it good for the day. I mean, at 10 yards, that's looking more or less like what I want. I'm a little far to the right, but he's AK. We'll hit bad guy, I think. Well, guys, I wasn't entirely successful zeroing this Ronin P10 as I'd liked. When I'm up at 10 yards, I'm right where I should be with my point of aim, point of impact. But then as I get back to 35, not quite where I want to be. I'll spend some more time on that. It could be the optic. It's most likely the shooter. We've discussed that. I'm happy being able to put holes in a human-sized target in roughly where I want them. So anyway, thanks for joining me today. Remember, if you want to help support the channel, I don't get any industry money, so this is all out of pocket and with help from viewers like you, kind of like the PBS model. So you can do that here at Patreon, up on the screen. If you're not in a position to do that, I would ask that you give me the old thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that bell so you know when I upload new content. And hey, share the videos with your friends. Just helping grow the subscribership helps the channel out. If you want some behind the scenes looks at what's going on, make sure to follow the channel on Instagram and Facebook, and you'll see just little pictures, some political discussion, just a little bit of everything there. It is all 2A and gun stuff's related. Well, and coffee, I like coffee. Thanks for support. If you're watching this right around when I upload it, Merry Christmas to you and yours, and a very happy and safe New Year. Guys, until next time, shoot straight, stay safe.